Shares of medical devices business ResMed are up more than 80% in the last 52 weeks and holding on to those levels after earnings. Joining us is CEO Mick Farrell from ResMed, ticker RMD. Back on the Schwab Network. Mick, thanks for being here this morning.
Happy to be with you, Oliver. Great to be back on your show.
Likewise, glad to have you here again. So give us the update from last time. The shares are up 40% on the year. You're near the highs of the year. Tell us the latest.
Well, look, Oliver, it's been an interesting couple of years. We had two megatrends that have come into our industry. The number one is from the consumer tech side, where around 6-7 months ago, Samsung got de novo clearance, FDA de novo clearance for their latest Galaxy watch to detect moderate to severe sleep apnea, straight from a watch, just using pulse oximetry from a handheld sleeping with a device watch. And then Apple followed, maybe just last month, with FDA clearance from their latest generation and second latest generation with a software update, Apple Watch, to be able to also detect sleep apnea. So huge megatrend from the consumer tech industry to help the 1 billion people worldwide who suffocate from sleep apnea. And another megatrend that Oliver, you and I talked about last time I was on your show is regards to the pharma industry with this new class of pharmaceuticals on GLP-1s, Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, both coming to market with their GLP-1s having an impact on bringing patients into the primary care, and potentially Eli Lilly Zepbound having an indication for use for sleep apnea, which we think will bring a lot of patients into primary care seeking care for their obstructive sleep apnea. They'll get partial treatment from pharmaceuticals, but full treatment comes from non-invasive, highly efficacious, low-cost, continuous positive airway pressure or automatic positive airway pressure, CPAP and APAP, that ResMed is the number one provider of worldwide. And I think that's what you saw in this great recovery these last 12 months.
The conversation we had last time, I kind of joked that I might be an interested customer. I've got some big old tonsils, but for the most part, I'm doing okay. Part of it, though, is to your point, I got this little whoop right here. So I can keep pretty good tabs on the sleep. First of all, how accurate are the wearable devices in knowing what's going on back there, Mick? I mean, it sounds like they're pretty good at identifying at least the binary, is it problematic or not? But like, how detailed, specific, and reliable are they?
Yeah, Oliver, that's a good clarification question. And you obviously do not have a high body mass index, right? But you absolutely could be a candidate for obstructive sleep apnea. It's not just about the large neck, the large stomach, the middle-aged male who's centrally obese. It is about young, athletic female folks as well. And that's what I think these consumer tech companies are looking to target through these wearables. Look, the sensitivity and specificity, so false negatives and false positives, these wearables are actually quite specific, meaning they don't have many false positives. Particularly Apple's data has shown quite high specificity, sort of in the 90s. So if they say you have sleep apnea, you very clearly almost do, and you really should get straight to a primary care physician and see them. And to your point, it's beyond just Samsung with the Galaxy Watch, Apple with the Apple Watch. It's Whoop, like you're wearing, Oliver. It's Garmin. It's a whole bunch of other wearables. We know Google's Fitbit have sleep monitoring as well. So we think all of these wearables are going to help the 1 billion people worldwide who suffocate from sleep apnea find their pathway to a primary care physician. And then it's ResMed's job to be this sleep health concierge, to help people find an easier pathway through the healthcare system. Right now, healthcare systems are disjointed, not connected, and we want to make it seamless, frictionless, and easy. Once you have that consumer technology, that wearable saying, I think I might have a suffocation problem. Let's not call it the Greek word, apnea, without breath. Let's call it suffocation. Make it real and say, I need to get back to sleeping well and breathing well, because it could save my job, could save my marriage, it could save my life.
Totally. And that's where the connection, because we talked about this last time, but just to be very clear for those who might be tuning in for the first time, You're selling the machines, the masks, the CPAP, the things that address the problem, whereas the devices identify then the problem. So it all works in a kind of natural cycle. So you've also got the software side too to maintain the information flow as well. The app, when your sales, how do those sales break down right now, Mick, in terms of the product purchase versus the recurring rate of income as well?
Yeah, look, it's a really good question, Oliver. And sort of if you break our business between the hardware and software, it's like 85% hardware. But then if you break that down into the recurring parts of the business, the masks and accessories is a very good chunk of that, sort of approaching 40 to 50% of that part of the business. And so recurring revenues, if you think about it, from masks and accessories, and from the software as a service that we sell is well over 50% of ResMed's revenues. So it's really, if you think of it like a Gillette razor blades, we have a lot of recurring revenue. As you said, we're the #1 provider worldwide of CPAP, APAP, bilevel masks and accessories, the non-invasive, low-cost, highly efficacious treatment for obstructive sleep apnea. We have over 26.5 million 100% cloud connectable medical devices sold in over 140 countries worldwide. And what that does is it liberates the data to the cloud. And we now have over 20 billion nights of medical data in the cloud. And what do we do with those big data? We create value. We have over 8.3 million people worldwide who use an app called myAir. And we just last month, launched an application interface, an API from our ecosystem into Samsung Watch and into Apple Watch. So you can now get your own data, how you were sleeping, how you were breathing every night, not just on your app, myAir, but on your phone. And that integration, if you like, of your sleeping data, your breathing data, with your cardiovascular data, with your diabetes data, with your simple health and fitness data that you might get from your app about how many steps you took or what your dietary intake was in calories, how much you exercised, all in the one spot, we think creates an environment of digital health for individuals that's going to help them participate in their whole healthcare. And certainly for us, we know if you are using the digital health parts, the software parts of ResMed's business, you're going to be more engaged in your healthcare. You're going to have better outcomes, and you're going to use more masks and accessories, and you're going to have a higher adherence rate, which means you're going to have a lower causes of stroke, heart attack, and even mortality events. So you get a higher survival rate, 29% higher survival rate for people who are using our device versus those who are non-adherent. And we have those data from a large study we did in Europe called the Alaska study. So really important to use your medical devices, Oliver.
Yeah, absolutely. It just naturally compounds, right? Both health-wise for the customer, in theory, should save them financially too, but that's kind of the least of your concerns if there's mortality events as well. But in the meantime, obviously, of course, as you're selling these and you've got the recurring revenue, you're also building up a pretty decent cash pile. Your free cash flow in the trailing 12 months, according to Bloomberg, is about a little less than $1.5 billion. Is there any more of the supply chain or ecosystem for you to own or be involved in, Mick? Are there any points that you would like to bring even closer home, or is this more about still the sales, the marketing, the understanding, and the growth for the core product?
Yeah, Oliver, look, it's a combination of both. Obviously, we're laser focused on our core business of sleep health and breathing health. But we just had our Investor Day just a couple of weeks ago at the New York Stock Exchange. We were celebrating 35 years of this great ResMed brand in the market, 25 years on the New York Stock Exchange, 100 quarters. And we launched a whole new approach of our 2030 strategy. Our strategy is to help 500 million people to sleep better, breathe better, and live better lives outside the hospital with healthcare technologies in the home that people love. And when you go that broad and you talk about healthcare technologies in the home, certainly we are looking to do some tuck-in acquisitions. And we said sort of in the range of that $100 to $500 million range. As you said, we generated over $1 billion in cash flow. Just this quarter, $300 million in free cash flow was generated by ResMed. So we're really excited about the cash flow. We put that back into the business, 18 to 20% in SG&A, 7%, really importantly, into innovation. ResMed is an innovation machine. We put 7% of our revenues, trailing 12 months, that's $5 billion in revenue, so $350 million into making the smallest, quietest, most comfortable, most connected, and most intelligent medical devices on the planet. But we have made some interesting tuck-in acquisitions. We acquired a company called Ectosense and a wearable called Night Owl. And this is a wearable, think of like a Band-Aid with a sensor on your finger. And it's very sensitive and specific to be able to diagnose you. So as I was saying earlier, Samsung or Apple or Garmin or a Whoop, as you have, Oliver, might screen you or get you into the healthcare system. Something like Night Owl is a wearable that can be a diagnostic used by a sleep physician, and then a respiratory therapist can set you up. Another acquisition we made was a company called Somnoware, which is software for the pulmonary and sleep medicine practice clinics, the people who diagnose and get you prescriptions for care. So ResMed is really thinking about end-to-end care, all the way from screening, I'm a sleep health concerned consumer, all the way to I'm diagnosed, treated, and managed for life. Because we don't create a cure, we have a treatment for life. And our goal is to have you adherent, buying masks and accessories for our business, but more importantly for you, getting the sleep you need, the breathing you need to stay out of hospital healthy and well, and to live your life to its fullest potential.
Great stuff. Thanks, Mick. Appreciate the walkthrough and the update on the earnings.
Thanks, Oliver. Look forward to talking to you next time.
Absolutely. Guys doing good things. All right, RMD, ResMed up 80% in the last year. Mick Farrell's the CEO.